I always ask the older players in their pickup games. I said, I asked them about the freshmen, and they said, Jordan's really quick, and a very good player, but he sure talks a lot.
Michael was cocky, but in a good way. I mean, he just knew he was good, and I would tell you that his teammates liked him very much, and because nobody played harder.
I can remember him as a freshman. We played pickup games. I'd hit him with an elbow, and I'd bang him, and I could see some of the timidness in it. But, boy, by the time he got to be a sophomore, I can remember playing against him, and he hit me one time. I elbowed him in the chest, and he turned around and elbowed me right back in the chest and said, "I'm not scared of you anymore."
I did the running program before the season started. He says, "I want to be the best player." And I said, "Well, then you have to work harder than you did in high school." And he said, "Well, I worked as hard as everybody else." I said, "I thought you just told me you wanted to be the best player."
Michael got better and better every year. Every practice, every game, he grew with confidence, and you just saw it coming, and it was just a matter of time.
Every day in practice, when Coach Smith was talking, every player looked at Coach because of the respect, and they knew what they could get from him. But Michael looked right down into Coach Smith's soul.
But I do believe that Michael Jordan has something in his heart or something in his engine that very few athletes in history have.
The guy's got to win. That's it. He has to win, and I always credit that to being the youngest of three boys. And his dad would sit there and say, "All right, hey, so what, Michael? You get picked on. Take care of yourself."
I'm sure part of it was that he got cut by his team and didn't like it. I'm sure part of it was stoked by Coach Smith. Coach Smith can stoke your fire, and you'll either respond or you won't.
And so I really think all of that competitive nature comes from Coach Smith and the way he kind of psychologically got us to go at each other as well as the other team and keep us so sharp. So all of those things that I hear Michael say that he does, I'm like, yeah, you got that from Coach Smith. You didn't think of these things. You weren't that competitive. You were just like everyone else. But Coach Smith kind of put the seed in for him.
Here's Braddock, three-pointer. No good. Tapped in by Jordan. 63-62.
It was our sophomore year against Virginia. We were down 18 at halftime, I believe. We came back, and he made an unbelievable play on Rick Carlisle.
Jordan stole it. Here goes Jordan for the dunk. Holy cow!
And then a couple plays later, Virginia takes a shot, and he goes up over Ralph Sampson, grabs the rebound. But he just made big play after big play.
I remember one game where he went down the middle and dunked it after there'd been a little altercation between Ben Coleman and Matt Doherty. And a few minutes later, Michael's got the ball under his arm. We're in the four corners, and Herman Veal was supposed to be guarding him. Adrian Branch says, "Herman, go get him." And Herman said, "You want his blankety blank, you go get him."
I had really seen most of the things that this guy could do. 360s, cradling, rocking, but I had never seen that.
And in the locker room, he asked me, he said, I didn't want to watch what Michael, he said, "What did he do?" And I said, "Coach, I can't describe it."
I kept hearing about it, so I did see it on the tape the next day, and it was sensational, and certainly it showed his ability, and I hope that Maryland didn't think it was too showy. I didn't. I kind of like seeing it.
But the first thing Coach Smith said was, one of the things was, "Well, I'm glad you made it." And the second thing he said was, "Do you know Kenny was ahead of you? Why didn't you pass it to him?" So that was the first two things that Coach said to him, the true Coach Smith fashion.
I said they'll remember it when we play him the next time, but then you'll just have to do it better.
Instead of his shooting and his offensive, I was more impressed with his defensive ability. Because when he said, "You know what, I have this whole side of the floor covered," he had the whole side of the floor covered. He was an exceptional shot blocker from the weak side in college, where guys would have layups or beat someone to the basket, and he would come help side defense. And guys have wide open layups, and you think they're layups or dunks, and he comes over and he would just, block shots. And early in especially in college, he used to block dunks. So I had never really seen guys go after other guys' dunks and be able to catch them in midair and choke the ball down.
He could guard a point guard, a two guard, a small forward, some power forwards if he had to. Michael was the best defensive player in the country, without question.
Would Michael become a great player if he'd gone somewhere else? Yeah, he would have. Would he have maybe done all the things that he's done? Maybe not, because I think Coach Smith has proven that he's helped players become great players. Not only just make it in the NBA, but great NBA players. And you look at the players' comments, they all give Coach Smith a lot of credit.
The greatest thing that Michael Jordan has said about Dean Smith, he says that Coach Smith gave him the fundamentals to build the foundation that allowed him to expand and do so many other things with his game. And that's what Coach Smith did. Coach Smith wouldn't accept mediocre or sloppiness from anyone, but he pushed Michael, I think, harder than any player who ever played here.